fasten your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what good to say? I doubt it will stand up to something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. There's my border. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening on iTunes right now, please leave a glowing review on iTunes. 5 stars. Very excited. Coming up later in the show, we will be having Alex Rosen on, who is a real-life predator hunter. He is the founder of Predator Poachers. I didn't even know anybody was doing this outside of Chris Hansen, so it's going to be very interesting to talk to this guy. He's going to definitely give me all the details, but from what I know, he was involved in trying to take down a creep, basically. This is out of Berkeley, California, so you can already guess how this is going to end. I'm going to ask him how does one even get into this line of work? But he found himself online, like pretending to be 9, and then this person started messaging them and was basically about to meet not only this 9-year-old, but a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old in a park. Just these kids. It's really unbelievable. And I've read some of these messages, some of these texts that were exchanged, and it's just so unbelievable that someone would be this mentally unwell to actually pursue something like this. So I have so many questions for Alex, but he's hitting a bunch of traffic. I said, just come on when you get home, when you get settled. So that'll be in about 15-20 minutes or so, but I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. So here I am to talk to you. And I'm excited because he did an interview with Ivory Becker, I think either today or yesterday. So I was listening through that. It's just like, talk about being brave. Like, this dude is actually brave for attempting to take down these creeps. So I have a lot of questions for him. But in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about my stand-up shows. Guys, I'm going to be headlining in Austin, and this is like in 2 weeks. I'll be at the Cap City Comedy Club on Thursday, September 8th. Check it out. I think I'll be at InfoWars either that day or the day before. And then I'm doing the Drinking Bros podcast again. I'm excited to see those guys once more, lining up a few more appearances for Austin. That'll be fun. Then I'm headlining in Philly Wednesday, September 14th at the Helium Comedy Club. Then I got shows back to back in Springfield, New Jersey at the Comedy Cove with Kevin Dombrowski, Friday, September 16th and Saturday, September 17th. Then I'm off to Bridgeport, Connecticut, Thursday, September 22nd, headlining at the Stress Factory. Then I'm heading to New Orleans, Friday, September 30th and Saturday, October 1st at the Comedy House, New Orleans. 4 shows down there in Louisiana. And then we got Comedians of the Compound at the Orlando Improv on Thursday, October 27th. Come see myself, Gino Bisconti, Anthony Cumia, Alex Stein, and Lila Hart. Then after this show, we'll be kicking off our second ever content house, coming to you from Orlando, Florida. That's going to be super fun. We're going to have a 48-hour stream. Anything can happen. I mean, we did the last one not even that long ago, honestly, at the, what was it, March, end of March, beginning of April. There was sleeping on camera. There was drinking on camera. and just plenty of shenanigans. We're probably all going to get monkeypox. So check that out. We got a stacked lineup for that. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. And I'm so grateful to our sponsor, Copy My Crypto, for sponsoring the event. It's going to be a really great time. Alex is texting me. Okay. No problem. See, he's going to be here even earlier than I thought. It's all good, baby, baby. Guys, I don't know if you smoke cigars, but you should. You should smoke Nickel City cigars because they are a based, veteran-owned, independent company out of Buffalo, New York. They are a new school boutique seller of craft cigars, not cigarettes. Those are for losers. Cigars are where it's at. They got a lot of artisanal blends, specialty cigars that you're not going to find anywhere else. Go to nickelcitycigars.com. At the checkout, use promo code CMP to get 15% off your order. These guys are awesome. Support them. They're veterans. They opened up this business in the middle of the pandemic and they're still standing. So I respect them. I give them props. And it's about time for me to order a few myself. Frank the filing cabinet is getting into cigars more so. I kind of like the little ones. I like the ones that have a little flavor to them. Call me gay, but that's just sort of what I'm gravitating to these days. I don't like a big, I don't like a big thick one. Do you know what I mean? That's the one instance where bigger is not necessarily better for me. I'm going to shout out Flagrant Triggers, the official Chrissie Mayr t-shirt seller. Go to flagranttriggers.com. You can get the Rootin' for Putin, Johnny Dabbler, Simpcast, Mayor, Smayer, or Make America Great Again shirt. All these shirts are available in fun, very wearable colors. Nothing crazy here. $27 includes shipping. Super soft. You can wear these shirts doing just about anything. Maybe not a formal event, but everything else. Flagranttriggers.com. Check it out. Oh my God, I just wolfed down a bunch of food. And it's like I burped and I was like, did I have tacos? No, I didn't. So I had to figure out what I ate. Okay, we can talk about some newsy stuff before Alex gets on. This is exciting. A woman who was flipping her, I guess she purchased a hoarder home, which is a hoarder is, someone who can't throw out any of their shit. So a woman that was flipping a hoarder home finds an enormous safe with blackmail photos inside. A woman and her boyfriend bought what they thought would be a perfect home with the hopes of flipping it. But they were shocked at the discoveries that were left behind, including a massive safe filled with blackmail photos of strippers, weapons, and other bizarre items. I want to know what the bizarre items were. Like, are we talking rubber chicken bizarre? Are we talking like adult toy bizarre? Tiffany Ma, 28, and her boyfriend Matt dreamed of flipping the worst home on the block for some big bucks after buying it in an auction, sight unseen, last October. Yikes. But instead entered an abandoned hoarder home. What did they think was going to happen? This was like peak panic pandemic purchasing time. October of 21. Yeah. Stupid. Dumb time to do that. I mean, I get it if you have to buy a house for yourself. People were in desperate, feeling desperate. A lot of people bought houses sight unseen, but like for an extra home that would just be fun to flip, not a good time to do it. The couple discovered 2 safes on the property, one of which was already open and ransacked, reportedly by a robber. Wow, so somebody knew. While the other sounds like they just couldn't pay their mortgage. And well, it was auction. Does that mean the bank owned it? I don't know how this goes. Okay, so a robber ransacked one of the safes and the other sat in the garage and weighed over 4,000 pounds. It turns out the huge safe was filled with all sorts of alarming items, some of which the new homeowners didn't reveal, and suggested they would need to turn over to the authorities. Whoa. Kind of in this, I feel like that's in the theme of what I'm going to talk about later with Alex. However, Tiffany showed her YouTube subscribers more of the crazy and random findings including rare coins, jewelry with diamonds and amethyst, a knife seemingly containing a German inscription and a Nazi eagle emblem, ammunition, old money, a bucket of photographs, and scrapbooks filled with pictures, and human hair. Oh, she's cute. Oh my God, it was so messy. I used to be a little bit of a hoarder, except I was not keeping human hair. I would keep little bottles of shampoo and conditioner from hotels. I was a hoarder in the way Gilbert Gottfried was a hoarder. Just body lotion, soap stuff. Tiffany, who, of course, her name's Tiffany. Unfortunately, instead of getting started and planning the renovations right away, when Tiffany and Matt showed up at the new home, they also had to spend time combing through all the abandoned items and trash. Tiffany, who documented her experience to her 1.8 million subscribers on YouTube, well, good for you, Tiff, was inundated with instant regret as well as massive amount of dust, dirt, dead animals, and the strong scent of urine. When she viewed and attempted to navigate the trashed house for the very first time, they even claimed that they had paid the original owner's estate $20,000 to clean it up. Ugh. Why? Why would you do this right now? That's nasty. What is that? $10 and some old coins? Oh yeah. Ooh. What is that? 60 cents right there? Big spender. Oh, and some, what is that? $1? A Sacagawea? Oh, this is jewelry. Okay. Oh my God. A photo of a stripper. That's a blackmail photo. So I wonder if there was a guy who kept this safe and this was like the woman he was involved with, saving it for a rainy day. Just a picture of his wife on the pole. Tiffany also shared that before they were able to crack the enormous safe, oh wow, they cracked it themselves. She and Matt had received a phone call informing them that the house they bought had been robbed just days before receiving the keys. They surmised that the robber was likely scrounging around for a particular item or items. Maybe the old owner came back. And that's who it was robbed by. In addition, not long after, a man reportedly approached the couple claiming to be the original owner's nephew and asking for the contents. Yeah, okay, the nephew. I bet it was him. Asking for the contents of the massive safe left in the garage. That led the couple finding a way to crack the safe using a circular saw. Damn, that's legit. As they feared another robbery could be imminent. Wow, they found dead animals in the safe or just in the house. That'd be hilarious if they kept dead animals in the safe. Unfortunately, after all their efforts, the couple ultimately realized the dead animals, rat urine, and other questionable items would make it impossible to actually renovate and resell the house itself. Instead, they decided to demolish and make plans to rebuild the home. Wow. So they're just like, fuck it. We're going to demolish it. In a recent video, they said the process already underway should be completed in about 2 months. Yeah, just start over. Comment saying they were surprised to learn that it was Al Capone's safe. Wow. Oh, what a dumb time to buy and flip a house. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the robbers were, because who else would know to go in there? Who else would know to go back to that house? You know, Ming? Yeah. Yeah. What's up, guys? I'm going to say hello to the peoples. The people's in the chat. We got some members in here. We got some members. I want to see your... It sounds creepy. Like, I'm looking at my members. Oh, man. Chat is on fire. We're very excited to talk to this Alex Rosen guy, aren't we? Filthy Thoughts. Leighton Gay. Good to see you. Filthy again. Fealty. He's here. Jero. What's up, Jero? What's up, Admiral? Okay. Crash Mondo. How's it going? Douglas Dauntless. I have a lot of men. Look at this. Look at this light hitting. Oh, it's gone now. The light was hitting my face in it. Ooh, looks like my eye is purple. That's fun. I'm trying to keep it like that. Cool. Dr. Wolfstar for 5 asked Alex about the time he boxed a P word in his basement. Ask him about his use of the N word. Ask him why EDP455 is still on the streets because of him. Okay. I'm going to star that and wait till he gets on. What's up? I said hello to the Admiral. NVIDIA shouting out Nickel City Cigars. All right. 2 War Vet in the chat. Hello. Chrissy is not a size queen. Good to know. Yes. I care very much for personality. Why so Darius? What's up? I think you're a new member. Justin H. 199. Gavin got swatted or arrested. Is that true? I was starting to hear some things about that. Damn. Over what, though? I'm going to have to look into that. Black Sung for 5. What's the special occasion? Didn't you just come from Critical Drinker? I did. We did like a 4-hour stream, I think. 3 or 4 hours. 4 to 5, 6. Yeah, I think it was 3 hours. Great stream. We talked about She-Hulk. We talked about House of Dragons. Did a full recap. Worn old coins can be worth thousands of dollars. Okay. I did not know that. Here I've been ditching all my old coins.
I Twitter DM'd you the Gavin thing.
Oh, okay. Kinky Pinkies for 2. Here to tickle you. Don't tell Alex or Frank. Okay. Okay, filing cabinet sent me something I need to look at. Cause damn. Gavin McInnes of Censored TV visited by feds shortly after going live. Oh no. Oh man, this sucks. The stream is still live, but it has been in an empty chair for 30 plus minutes. Wow. So this just happened like an hour ago.
The second clip played first.
Second clip. What second clip?
2 clips on Twitter.
Okay. Second clip. Play the second clip first. Which one is the second clip? Okay. Dang. Okay. Oh, fudge. Man, I really hope he's okay. Okay, let's play this. So this is from Archibald Ramsbottom. Censor TV Gavin McInnes arrested live on air. Maybe. Oh, man. Ah, what's happening?
We're shooting a show. Can we do this another time?
Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
Yeah. All right, I'm happy to do that. I'll get a lawyer, and we will sit down and have a conversation. We'll schedule a meeting, and we'll sit down with my lawyer.
Do you hear this?
I didn't let you in.
Oof. So they barged in. Damn, they freaking barged into his house. Oh, man. It's hard to hear what's going on. I can just hear the little like of the walkie. Oh, my God. I hope he's okay. What the frick is this even about? Everyone's getting swatted lately. Does he come back to frame? I'm going to speed it up a little. Okay, so I think that's the end of that one. And there's a second clip here. Okay, so this second clip is this just of his feed. All right, let me pull it up. Oh no, this is like nerve-wracking. Okay. So this is that one, Gavin McInnes of Censor TV, visited by feds shortly after going live. The stream is still live, but has been an empty chair for 30 minutes. Oh, and this is just a short minute-long clip.
Yeah. All right, I'm happy to do that. Let's.
Okay, this is like a repeat.
Sit down and have a conversation. We'll schedule a meeting, and we'll sit down with my lawyer.
This is like the same clip.
Same clip.
Yeah, it's the same clip. Well, shit. That really sucks, man. I hope he's going to be okay. What is this even over? Yikes. What are the comments saying? Everyone's just tagging everybody. Someone in the comments is saying, you have no idea who this is. Why claim that it's the feds? Let me pull this up again. Probably a bunch of regular guys all dressed the same in khakis with their faces covered, just some law-abiding citizens that want to ask some questions. No other context. There was noise outside his studio door. His producer opened the door, and the only thing you hear Gavin say before the clip is, can we do this another time? I'm shooting a show. I don't think Gavin... See, this person thinks Andrew Fuzzelaire thinks Gavin would be fucking with people, but I don't think he would do that. Over 30 minutes of dead air is not his style. WTF, he said this last week. He was being followed by a bunch of unmarked police cars, and he was getting a lot more threats than usual. Oh, man, this sucks. Oh, and this is Crip Daddy from 13 minutes ago. I'm not able to get a hold of anyone, and they always answer me. Well, if you're not answering for Crip Daddy, then something is wrong. You can hear the police radio sounds towards the end of the clip.
I just logged you into censored.tv so you can see what the feed is right now.
Hold on. Oh. All right, let me log into Censored and see what's happening here. And the feed is still up. Censored.tv. Logging in. Okay, so it's under live stream?
Yeah.
Get off my lawn. I thought I did log in.
Yeah, still live.
Oh, it's giving me an issue with trying to log in. It's just saying subscribe today.
Put in the username and password.
Yeah, it says I'm logged in. I just can't watch anything. That's really strange. Are you able to log in on that? I'm going to try logging out and then logging in. Oh, boy. He's supposed to do a live show in New York soon. It's not going to go well. Are you talking about in November? That's really funny. That's really funny, Wolfstar. Chrissy wants to show us Gavin's dead air to distract from her dead air. That's great. Yes. That's what happened. Should I call Anthony?
Why?
Maybe he knows what's going on.
Yeah, I can't log in either. That's weird.
Yeah, maybe that's no longer a good login.
I just did it. Oh, it's there.
That's weird. It's not working for me.
Go to the top of it. It's still there in dead air.
Okay, I'm just gonna text Anthony. Yeah, it's giving me some problems. I'm gonna try this one more time. Apologies for the dead air. I didn't even know I had this account.
Where's this Alex guy?
Huh?
Where's Alex?
Yeah, we're waiting for him. He was stuck in traffic. Yeah, it's saying set a username. Did you have to do that too?
Scroll up.
Yeah, it's still Is this what you're seeing? Just this screen?
This is it.
Okay.
This is live right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, so nothing really happening. Da 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 da. It's the same thing. Well, shucks. Yes, nothing is happening. Well, shit, I hope he's okay. I don't know if he ditched because he literally just texted me, said that he was running late and that he said he was almost home like 10 minutes ago. So hopefully he'll come on whenever he feels like it. Okay. Let's see. I have more things to talk about. Oh boy. Okay, was Zuckerberg really on Joe Rogan's show? Okay, Mark Zuckerberg tells Joe Rogan Facebook was wrong to ban the post's Hunter Biden laptop story. Oh, you think? Duh. Zuckerberg admitted that Facebook made a mistake. Oh, God. Is this somebody who got punched? I don't know who that is. Pat's latest victim. Just kidding. Mark Zuckerberg admitted that Facebook made a mistake over its decision to ban sharing of the Post's exclusive report on Hunter Biden's laptop ahead of the 2020 election. I still can't believe this was like over 2 years ago. The billionaire CEO of Meta said he regretted Facebook's response to the Biden story during an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, after the host pressed him to explain his views on how tech platforms should handle content moderation on sensitive subjects. When something like that turns out to be real, there is regret for not having it evenly distributed and for throttling the distribution of that. Oh, this is Rogan asking, when something like that turns out to be real, is there regret for not having it evenly distributed and for throttling the distribution of that story? Rogan asked the Post about the host Hunter Biden scoop. Yeah, it sucks, Zuckerberg said. It turned out after the fact checkers looked into it. No one was able to say it was false. I think it sucks, though, in the same way that probably having to go through a criminal trial but being proven innocent in the end sucks. So he's like kind of not really apologizing. Of course, he can't be seen admitting any fault in this. He's like, yeah, well, it just turned out that way. It's like, no, there was a lot of proof that this was a real story and Facebook on purpose throttled it. He said the platform opted to limit sharing on the story, but not halt it entirely after the FBI told Meta employees to be wary of Russian propaganda ahead of the election. More than 50, like, how did they not realize like this is coming from the FBI? More than 50 former senior intelligence officers signed on to a letter that claimed the laptop story has all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. Yeah, but look at who is signing on to this. But, Facebook is in the palm of the media's hand. They are, I think, probably somewhat controlled by the government. Our protocol is different than Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that, Zuckerberg said. Rogan agreed that Facebook's approach was certainly much more reasonable than Twitter's stance. The podcast host also acknowledged the difficult decision facing social media platforms regarding politically sensitive stories ahead of an election. I just don't think they looked at it hard enough. When the New York Post is talking about it, they're pretty smart about what they release and what they don't release. Rogan said, yeah, they're not like some schlocky rag, as they say. For the 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. Zuckerberg added, you could still share it. You could still consume it. Yeah, but like how throttled was it? While Zuckerberg acknowledged that Facebook had also reduced distribution of the report on its own platform, He tried to defend the process as reasonable. I think the process was pretty reasonable, he added. A lot of people were still able to share it. We got a lot of complaints that was the case. Yeah, okay. This is a hyper-political issue, so depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor enough or censored it way too much. But we weren't as black and white about it as Twitter. Well, we weren't as bad as Twitter. The tech CEO also took thinly veiled swipes at Twitter, calling the rival social network's ban overly black and white. Twitter briefly suspended the Post's account in 2020 after the laptop expose revealed the existence of tens of thousands of emails between the president's son and business associates. And some fun photos. The emails revealed how Biden's son leveraged his political access in his overseas business dealings. Zuckerberg claimed that Facebook took a different path than Twitter. Republicans have accused Facebook of suppressing conservative voices. And here is the cover, the New York Post cover from October 14th, 2020. Wow. And then again, yeah, it was the cover of the Post the next day on October 15th. And here's a lovely picture of Hunter just thinking about his life, wondering where it all went wrong. The Post has reached out to Twitter for comment on Zuckerberg's remarks. The tech CEO admitted that the sharing of the story was meaningfully limited on Facebook after its initial publication. And here's another photo of Hunter, I guess sort of staring into his own eyes, searching for his soul or what's left of it. I think the right way to establish principles for governance that try to be balanced and not having the decision-making too centralized, Zuckerberg responded. It's hard for people to accept that some team at Meta or that I personally am making these decisions. Well, there's nothing to determine that you or not. You know what I mean? There's no proof to show us anything other than that. Zuckerberg took another swipe at Twitter in a different portion of the nearly 3-hour podcast interview with Rogen, saying that it's hard to spend time on the platform without getting too upset. Okay. He contrasted Twitter with Instagram, which is owned by his company. Zuckerberg said that it was easy to spend time on Instagram and absorb a lot of positivity. He sounds like a pussy. Twitter's too negative. Well, that's where all the memes are. Okay. Anyway, guys, if you guys have any update on the Gavin swatting, just let me know in the chat. I'll be checking. And I think we're ready to bring on our esteemed guest. Yes. Okay. Let me start some of these super chats. I'm very excited that he's here today. I'm so excited he could squeeze me in. He's been so busy. I think he was just on Crowder's show. He is the founder of Predator Poachers. Welcome to the program for the very first time, Mr. Alex Rosen.
How's it going? Pleasure to be here.
A fellow ginger. Always good to have
Yes.
a ginger on.
Yes, absolutely, my fellow ginger. How are you?
Good. So where were you driving back from today?
Dallas. So I went on the Blaze for the first time today. And
nice. Oh, congrats. That's where you were. All right.
yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. Sadly, Crowder pushed us back.
What a dick.
Well, I'm not going to say anything until I'm on the show, but no.
I'm just kidding.
We'll see what happens with that, hopefully. But interviewed with a bunch of people today, a bunch of people that I've been watching that I met for the first time. So it was great. I'm glad to be here too.
Okay, super. I was telling the people a little bit about what you do. How about let's start with a little bit of your background and how you got into doing what you're doing, because I don't think anybody goes to school for being a predator hunter. So how did you get into this? And I don't know if this particular case was your first big case. I think that actually Frank was following you with a prior case with somebody else. But so I'm catching up here. So if you want to give me a little bit of background of how you got into this.
Yeah, so what we do is we pretend to be underage kids on the internet, and like the show To Catch a Predator, online predators hit us up across the country. And the difference is we oftentimes go to their house and we definitely catch people that are way sicker than To Catch a Predator ever got. We definitely make sure we target pedophiles, like people that are into prepubescent kids and into people as young as infants, because a lot of those people have victims and are into stuff like child porn and all of that type of stuff. And I want to make sure that, we're getting a big fish with every single time we, cast our little rod. But yeah, so we got into this at 19 years old. I'm 22 now. And the reason my hairline looks like this is because I've seen like more,
You've seen some shit. You've
Yeah.
seen some shit.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely seeing some stuff. And we started when I was 19 years old. We finally had like 3 weeks off of I played college football my first year in college, and finally had some time off, got into these type of videos. Always wanted to be a cop and catch bad guys. And, it's never really been about like sex crime specifically. But now doing this more and more, like I didn't realize how many of these people there were. And I didn't realize how deep it got. Like when my first catch, somebody was meeting like a quote unquote 15-year-old boy. And I was like, this is sick. But now we're getting people into like infants and stuff like that. And it's definitely.
How is that even possible? Like it's unbelievable. Like I was watching some footage from the most recent one with Sophia, which we'll get into, but like it's truly unbelievable that someone could be into a 1-year-old.
Yeah, I had no idea. And then of course doing these more and more, meeting like victims of these predators that we've caught, definitely built a very, very big passion for this. And it's something I want to do in some capacity of, making sure pedophiles are off the street in one way or another. It's definitely something I want to do the rest of my life. And it's definitely my life's work now. And I'm very passionate about this and glad that it's being showcased.
Because a lot of times, who else can I think of? Eliza Blue is somebody I know who she herself, I think, was sex trafficked, or she was a victim of sex trafficking. And that's kind of like what inspired her to get into it. Like, was there someone you knew, or like usually something happens and then that inspires someone to like be like, I want to make this my life's work? Or is it you just felt called to stick up for kids?
Yeah, it's always been just about catching bad guys initially. But yeah, I mean, knowing that there's actual, a lot of victims of this out there, like shit. One of our decoys now, we got in touch with her because we caught her molester. And there's definitely, hearing people's stories and hearing how these videos are therapeutic for them. We do joke around a lot on the channel, but under all of that, we keep going for people, for victims of this and to prevent any future victims. And, I don't really want to call them victims. I want to call them victors because, in the end, we're all going to come together and kick these pedophiles' ass.
Where can these types of creeps be found online? Like when you're like, I guess, creating is it just like regular social media channels that they kind of lurk on? Or do you find like you just create like dummy accounts on everything and sort of like see, who gets in your DMs?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, these pedophiles are on Instagram like there's taco places in Mexico. I mean, they're literally everywhere on social media. Instagram is a big one, Twitter, Facebook, any site really. I guess like the only site I haven't seen too many on is like Tinder, because they're very good with like ID and stuff. Like you got to show your ID, so it's hard to find anyone. Not that I've looked for underage on Tinder, but I'm sure it'd be hard to find someone underage on Tinder.
Yeah, I don't think a kid is not going to like stumble onto Twitter, the way that they, you leave a kid with a cell phone and they can log on just about every other app.
Oh, I said like Tinder because you got to show like ID. But yeah, Twitter. Yeah. No, Twitter, there's a ton. There's not necessarily many kids on Twitter that I've seen, but there's child porn accounts that,
I've seen those. I've tried to report them and then I've gotten in trouble and like, what did I get? Not a strike, but I definitely got suspended for a little bit because I was trying to, because I was like flagging and reporting all these accounts, like might have been last year or something. And I just was like, that was my first taste of like, oh wow, okay, so even to like do work for the good guys is still, you're still taking a risk, I guess.
Oh, it's a whole community of these people. Like, they have certain hashtags that they use to basically kind of, basically access their fellow pedos CP without posting CP on Twitter.
A way for them to like talk with one another.
Yes. And just seeing like some of the tweets, like seeing these pedophiles that, follow our decoy account, they literally tweet out and tag our decoy account. Like, oh, I really want to kiss you right now. Like they just tweet this out openly. And it's clearly a picture of, what looks to be an underage girl has our decoy account. And, these people are just sick in the head.
Of course they're sick, because it's like you'd think you're being pretty bold there, like tweeting at, what they think are kids.
Yeah.
What's like an obvious creepy tweet. So what was the case where you did like was it what was the case before Sophia Westfall?
A lot. There's a lot. We do like these across
You've
the
had a
country.
lot of them.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're based out of Texas though?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So this Sophia Westfall one is pretty interesting. So this happened out of Berkeley, California, and I was listening to a bit of your interview with Ivory Hecker, which was great. And walk me through like what happened, like how you stumbled upon this person, because the footage of you going to actually like what happens between you setting up an account and then the moment where you're like, okay, I'm actually getting out of my car to confront this person.
So we have this account that's a quote unquote 9-year-old online that one of our decoys, Nikki, plays as. And, I access all the decoy accounts. So, they may do most of the chatting. I may do most of the chatting. Usually they do. But, there's some predators that I focus on specifically where I do a lot of the chatting. And then Sophia was one of them because, of course, Sophia stuck out because Sophia looked the way she looked. And then going after a 1-year-old, we were just like, holy crap.
So Sophia is like a trans, from my opinion, it's like, okay, this looks very much like a dude that's like barely trying to look like a woman, but we would, in a PC way, classify them as a trans person, a them, a whatever. But
yes.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, holy crap. I've never because that was the first time like
put a little effort in. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, being that it was a 9-year-old too, like we usually pose as 11, not like that's any better, but just the fact that it was a 9-year-old is just like, oh, wow, that like pops out at you more. And just how sick. And, what really stuck out about Sophia is because before confronting Sophia, we found blog posts that, I'm going to say he, because I don't want to misgender him, but we found blog posts that he made of basically saying that 4 and 5-year-olds were curious about sex and should be learning about sex. And this is like, we're like, okay, this person needs to be caught like ASAP. So, of course, Sophia got very sexual with our decoys. We basically want to see their limit. So we typically say, oh, I got a sister who's 6, and that's always okay with them. And we're like, oh, well, we have another sister who's 1 year old. Then sometimes even the pedos going after a 6-year-old will be like, oh no, that's too young for me. But
you're like, oh, that's your line? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they got to at least be in kindergarten. Before that's just, they don't know what they're doing. But yeah, Sophia was like, this is the first time like with an infant where I've heard someone say it's never too young to learn. Like we've had people going after infants before, but just thinking that this 1-year-old can possibly comprehend and pick up on sexual activity, it was just sickening. And then she was messaging another decoy too, ran by my friend in Germany, and last minute before the catch, I think maybe the day before, she sent that decoy child porn, and we're like, holy crap, this one needs to be caught like now. And we went ahead and did the catch.
Wow. So yeah, this is just like, it's hard to believe, but like these are some of the messages from between Sophia Westfall, and the decoy. Like, I mean, this is crazy. And you're actually, they're talking about how I guess the original decoy said they was pretending to be 9, and then they pretended that you had a 6 and 1-year-old siblings. So clearly you can see from these messages, like this person is like very sick and just talking, like boldly talking about what they want to do. And it's like, I just can't believe this is even real.
Lots of this stuff.
It's like when you actually read these messages, I don't know. It's like you just feel like a presence of darkness. It's like, and sometimes it's easy to joke about this because it's like not in front of your face. Like because you can't believe that it's actually real. And it's like, no, these messages are real. This is very serious. I give you so much credit for even working in this area, because it's like, it's kind of scary. It's really scary that like people are capable of this.
Yeah, it's a very even still now I think, okay, well, they're into this, but I don't think they'll ever do this. But every time I'm just wrong. Like evil has no limits, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, and it ties into the same stuff. Like, oh, our government would never do this to us. They'll never do that. No, evil has no limits. And I know that firsthand from these people. There's nothing that will stop evil. When someone's evil, they're like, they don't have a line a lot of times, you know?
So this is you getting out of your car. So you realized you were getting Sophia. I guess you were, pretending to be this 9-year-old. And you said basically like, meet me at this park at this time.
Yes.
And they, you said, oh, did you actually say, oh, I'll bring my other siblings, or they were just going to try to meet you, the 9-year-old?
No. So the plan was, I believe, if I remember correctly, the plan was to meet the 9-year-old at the park. I forgot if we were going to bring the siblings or not, but the plan was, end game was to end up in the apartment with the 3 siblings and do stuff with them.
Ugh, her apartment?
No, our apartment. She was going to walk over. Yep.
And it's fucking crazy because, like, I mean, if you're not really looking for a predator, you would see this person and go, okay, this is just like a very unattractive, frumpy chick. And a normal person wouldn't think twice to see a frumpy looking chick with 1, 2, 3 kids walking around in a park. It's like, oh, this could look, if you're not looking for that, you could think, oh, this is nothing out of the ordinary. So it could be a weird babysitter. It could be someone picking them up from school, a nanny or something.
Yep.
And so what is like, and you've obviously confronted these creeps before, but like, is your heart like racing at this point because you know exactly where to go? You're like, this is go time. Like, I mean, you've done this before, and you're not like, I think it probably helps. Like, you seem like you're like a tall dude, and you're like, you're pretty, it seems like you're pretty built, and I'm sure that helps because then, it's not that you're there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's probably easier to confront these people when you're not like a small person.
Right. Like, yeah, there's no nervousness anymore. It's just, I still get like the rush though, especially with someone like Sophia, who is like, especially with like what I like to call the big fish, like people that are either really sick or people that, have a lot to lose and are still doing this. I still get that adrenaline rush confronting these people. And I was definitely very ready to go do this. And I'm pretty pumped out it turned out the way it did.
So this is a little bit.
Pleasure to meet you. Cameras are for your safety, okay?
So you say, my name is Gordon. It's a pleasure to meet you. And then they say, no, it's not, right off the bat.
I got your messages here, so I need to talk.
Hold on. Were you going to say something?
Yeah. So we were talking about that after, and we do think that Sophia probably knew who we were.
Do you think they wanted to get caught?
No.
Okay.
We had to send a verification. We had to make it work. Like, we had to send like quote unquote real photos. Like, we had to show the 9-year-old outside the apartment, and no, we had to do a lot to get this person to meet.
Okay. So I'm going to play a little more. And it's crazy because this person is like pacing back and forth. It doesn't seem like, and you're confronting them, her, him, shim, whatever, with the printed out, text messages. And it's interesting to watch, like, this person isn't like running away. It's like, they're just kind of pacing back and forth.
Yeah. I don't know. Like,
they're probably just in shock.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is. Because I remember the photo that Sophia sent right before we pulled up. I mean, she was still wearing like her mask and everything, but she was smiling through it. You could tell she was so ready to just go molest these kids. And I mean, she got, I know it's a she technically, but she got blue balled, and that's what it came from.
Oh my God! It's just like, wow. And so, I mean, you can't arrest this person. Your goal is to, like, do you call the cops at this point? At this point in the, I guess, sting, you call it? Or now it seems like other people are watching. At one point, did somebody try to stick up for Sophia? Like, if someone doesn't know what's going on, like, oh, there's a frumpy chick and a guy that is talking to her and she sounds in distress. This is Berkeley, California. I imagine you'd have Karens running to their aid.
Yeah, the people that go scream defund the police, then call them at the first sign of any distress going on. Yes, those type of people are everywhere here. And so we call the cops after we get a confession on camera. Typically we get confessions on camera. But
really? They actually confess, like, to what do you say? Like, so like true or false, you were here to meet kids, and then they say yes.
Oh, more than that. We get other victims. Like typically our videos are like close to an hour long. A lot of them are, we have 2-hour videos. Like Sophia's video is an anomaly. Like it was definitely not a video that I was proud of. That's for sure.
Oof.
No, I don't. I'd rather just go away and talk about this some more.
Yeah. So that's why we didn't call the cops. We didn't call the cops because we were basically waiting for her to have a conversation with us so I can get, the confirmation
Wow.
that these messages were sent. And,
Sophia, we need to have a talk
Wow.
about
And
this.
so how much,
This isn't a public
I guess,
forum.
pushback are you getting from these people, like these surrounding people watching? And I'm sure there are a couple people just curious, maybe videotaping
Sure.
themselves.
yeah. There was a one white lady who identified as an elected official who,
I mean, what's going
Just
she
happens
was
to be there.
Yeah, she was the one that called the cops on us, and I guarantee you she voted to defund the police. But she was just, had to step in white knight. You know how these people are. And it was just very, very frustrating having to deal with someone like that. I mean, there were kids at the park, and I believe she was with her kids, and instead of like calling out this pedophile that's around her kids, she basically plays into the media narrative like, oh, big white guy harassing poor trans person. And I guarantee that's what she was thinking.
Of course, it's the message. Yeah, like she's definitely the victim, even though she was literally about to do pedo things. So you're trying to acknowledge her. This video goes on.
And we also
You're just kind of pacing back and forth. They kind of stop. You're kind of.
I want to have to talk about this. Why is that?
I don't want to talk to you because I'm a fucking creep.
Okay, that's fine. I don't have to have a reason to keep following you then. Only on your phone right now. Okay. No. Okay, cool. So much
like,
for
why
equality,
wouldn't
right?
they just go home at this point? Like, why?
Can't share words.
I'm shocked why this person is still in the vicinity.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a shock. It's them thinking that if they talk, like they'll be out of trouble. Like it happens all the time with people.
Okay, so this person right now is thinking if I run, I'm screwed. But if I stay here and be like, what are you talking about? That they'll be safe.
Yeah, what was going through Sophia's mind, I'm not really sure because it's not like she was choosing anything. It was weird.
Yes, this is a sick person. Yeah.
Right.
That's not what happened.
So then the cops come, and you kind of. So what I found was so interesting about Ivory's video that she did with you. So the cops ultimately let this person go.
Right.
And then Ivory herself called in to the Berkeley Police Department, and the cops actually claimed, like, from what it sounded like, they made it sound like nobody from your side or the predator poacher side was like, following up. They claimed that nobody went on record from your side, and the phone call very much sounded like, well, we did all we could do, and they should have called us earlier, and like we as the cops don't have any hard evidence. So they were basically saying like there's nothing we can do. And it's like, dude, you did, but you have all this evidence. You did all this work. Like, yeah, you guys aren't cops, but to me it just seemed like they just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, there was more than hard evidence. They had more than probable cause to make an arrest much less detain and take the phone of Sophia. And we actually did follow up. I attempted to call them in July saying, hey, I want to follow up with this case and make sure everything's turned in and get in touch. And they put me on hold, and I heard some waiting music and the phone just hung up on me. And I was just waiting for like 10 minutes and, then it just hung up on me. So then that's when basically Twitter went crazy when we posted this video a few days ago. And now Berkeley suddenly, when I called them yesterday to follow up for a second time, they knew about what was going on. They're like, yeah, we'll get you with a detective in 1 second. And lo and behold, we're with a detective, and now everything's turned in.
And when was this video shot?
This video was shot on June 7th.
So June. Okay, so this is like more than 2 months ago. Why did it take so much time? Just because they weren't answering you back at all, the police department?
No, we do so many of these. So, I always take out days out of the month where, because we do we probably do like 20 to 25 a month, sometimes.
Like stings like this, you do 20 to 25?
Oh, we post videos all the time. So I always take a day like, okay, which ones are not turned in still, or which ones I need to follow up on. So I take that time to like go down a list and like, okay, I got to turn in evidence for this one. I got to call this detective for this one.
Wow.
Because, I'm basically one guy dealing with, dealing with all of these at once. And, you know, I have my girlfriend help me out too. So that's a huge help. But yeah, so I attempted to follow up in July about this, you know, make sure everything's turned in or see what I got to do. And, you know, I just got hung up on. So.
And do you think it's the worst kind of in areas like Berkeley? Is in your experience, has it been, have you been treated the worst? Basically, it just seems like they're dismissing you because they don't want to deal with it, because I think these cops are afraid that they will lose their job if they go anywhere near like a they them. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Put it this way: we have an arrest in Cheyenne, Wyoming, before our hometown of Houston, Texas. So that should tell you everything about Democrat-run George Soros cities.
Wow. Okay. And what are some cities or places where you have had, like, you know, a better reception from the cops, basically, when trying to catch these people?
The best place in Texas, that's a big city to do this, is definitely Amarillo. Amarillo, we're 2 for 2 when it comes to arrests. And then, you know, the small towns in Texas are always great. Like we got a guy sentenced to 20 years a couple weeks ago in Upshur County, Texas. His name was Thomas Murrell. And then another big city that's good with arrests is Huntsville, Alabama. And then, you know, surprisingly, Oregon's good with arrests. Oregon typically arrests on the spot, and so does upstate New York.
Wow, right, because the cops at Berkeley were saying, like, well, we didn't have any evidence, like we didn't have anybody's phone, so we couldn't do anything about it.
Right. And so one, they obviously didn't take Sophia's phone. Two, they could have just asked for my phone. I would have given it. I mean, I have phones all over the country right now that are in police's possession.
Right, and you were saying to Ivory that you've handed over MacBooks, like your laptops to people. It's like you're going through like a lot of equipment there. You have to have like a lot of backups when you're doing this kind of work.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine like any of this pays, you know what I mean? Like no one's paying you to do this. It's crazy that you can, you know, I mean, you're probably supporting yourself with other things. And
no, it's a living. People support us, and people like the videos. We have a very good support base that, you know, they see the work we put in. They see that we have an arrest in 33 states, and they support us accordingly. And I really appreciate them for that.
Wow. It's just amazing. Like, I never thought that this is something like just a regular average person could do, like really make a difference and, you know, catch people who do this. I'm going to go to a couple of questions in the chat. Let's see here. From Barry Madinkia. Thank you for the 50. Fund Alex. Where can people do you guys have like a GoFundMe or a place where people can throw you a couple bucks and so you can help keep doing the work you're doing?
Yeah, I would just say the best thing to do is just sub and follow and watch our videos. And you know, I'm not going to plug any money making things on your channel here, but yeah, I'll just say this. I guess the only just help us make money by just following and sharing.
Okay, definitely. Yeah. From Barry Madinkia. Alex needs a bigger platform. A person actually doing something is so admirable. His next live cast, I will be matching donations. Oh, wow.
Well, thank you, Barry Madinkia. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. From Dr. Wolfstar, can you invite EDP 455 on the show so Alex will show? I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, I guess that was maybe the other big case. Yeah, that was a very big YouTuber that we caught.
That's what I had heard of. Yeah, there was a big YouTuber. I think that was the other case that Frank was talking about. What was their name?
EDP 445.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They actually just went by EDP. Okay, I just remember seeing photos. From Galactic Wrestling. Hey, Chrissy, did you hear about Gavin being visited by feds allegedly during his live show tonight? Yes, I did hear about that.
Who's Gavin?
Gavin McInnes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Empty chair for over an hour. Thoughts? Yeah, I haven't heard anything yet from anybody. No updates, but once I do, I will let you know. I got a text from Anthony's gonna text him. All right. Dr. Wolfstar for 5. Ask Alex about the time he boxed a P word in his basement. Ask him about his use of the N word. Ask him why EDP 455 is still on the streets because of him.
Well,
because of you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Yeah, when I was 19 or maybe just turned 20, we did film a video where me and a predator boxed in my. I don't think there's a basement in my second floor apartment in Houston, especially with a city at sea level, but I know what he's referring to. Yeah, so I did did a stupid video when I was still basically a kid, and yes, and I just want to say. I'm very triggered that he would even just say the N-word. It's just very, very offensive to me, actually. And I'm going to apologize to absolutely nobody. People need to move on and get out of their feelings and ask him why EDP 455 is still on the streets because of him. Well, we got a full confession from him on camera. We have his messages. We had his dick pic sent, and we turned it into cops. So I think rather than putting pressure on somebody that flew all the way to that flew all the way to Bakersfield, California to go confront the guy, I think maybe you should put pressure on Kern County Sheriff's Office. But you're part of the outrage mob, so you won't do that.
And Alex, seriously, like the work that you're doing, and like I have so many trolls as well. Like it's amazing that like, and I'm not even doing something that's helping him. I mean, you could argue that comedy helps humanity, but like Definitely. You're really helping humanity. And the fact that like people are critical of what you're doing, it's just like, I'm sure the people that are hating on you, it's like they need to take a hard look at themselves because they're probably doing squat in terms of helping the community, helping kids. Like they need to take a hard look at themselves.
I mean, technically he is helping the movement. I mean, if he can basically say N-word all he wants as long as he's donating money. So that's the way I look at it.
I guess so. Yeah. Right. And these words, like, only really have the power that you give to them. So, so this is still footage of, I'm going to skip this a little bit. So here the cops are talking to Sophia. What do you think do you think they're actually asking her anything at this point? I mean, like they let her go.
They're probably saying, hey, we're going to transfer this case to the ADL and the ACLU right now in the Southern Poverty Law Center. But yeah, I don't know.
Look, Sophia, go to the mall, get yourself some better clothes.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what they could be saying, especially, I mean, they asked her, did you send the messages? And I assume Sophia said yes. And typically they would take the phone and say, we'll be in touch with you. But
they're just straight up letting her go.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you think they got any contact info from her to try to have her back in for questioning? So now they're talking to you at this point. So what are they saying to you here?
They're saying you should have kept 6 feet. You're killing her literally right now.
Are you kidding me?
No.
They're using okay.
So he was saying right there. They did take Sophia's ID, by the way. Sophia isn't the person's real name because them haven't switched over yet, truly. So whatever. So they wouldn't tell me the real name, obviously, but he basically said, hey, here's a link for evidence to upload. And, we left the next day. It was like a 24-hour link. So that's why I had to follow up saying, hey, I couldn't I just didn't have the time to get everything together and do that because I was just on my phone on that trip. But yeah, and of course, none of the raw footage was anywhere yet besides the camera. But but as for reaching out to me like they claimed, no, nobody reached out to me from there. I had to be proactive and call them.
Wow. What do you think these police departments should change? Like from your work in this area, like what do you think are easy fixes that could be done so that it would make it easier to like report these predators and get them arrested quicker?
Well, I know in Berkeley, all they had to do was enforce the law because we had arrests earlier that trip in California that were for way less. Yeah, still sexual to a kid, but not to where you're just like trying to vomit about what's being said. And all they had to do was enforce the law. And I would say in Houston, what they could do is, since we're so libtarded over here, we actually have a law in Houston that cops cannot make an arrest on the spot. They have to call a prosecutor and get their permission to press charges on the spot. So for example, say Huntsville, Alabama, the cops come and make an arrest, see you later. But in Houston, say they came to a predator, they'd have to get in touch with the prosecutor and see if the prosecutor would want to press charges. And at that point, the predator could just leave or whatever. And, a prosecutor in Houston will just say, who's this guy, So.
Wow. How many people are kind of like helping you work on this? And it just seems crazy to me. It's like, how do you figure out how to sound like a 9-year-old. You know, it's like, and I mean, you must be pretty good if people aren't like, hey, you know, like, you know, you're getting these people to meet you. It's just kind of
Yeah.
an interesting thing to have to like learn how to do.
No, we have girls that help us out, that can, you know, make their voice sound like basically sound like yours and go down to like a kid's voice. And we have two young looking decoys. Their names are Ashley and Aubrey, who, you know, if the light's pretty dim, they can definitely pass off as 13 or 11 or something like that. But it's very hard to video call as a 9-year-old because that's just too dang young. But like 13, we could definitely pull off with them. But yeah, no, we have a lot of help. And, you know, when it comes to typing, there's really you don't need to convince anybody to be a predator. If you like kids, you like kids. So all we basically say is one-word responses or one-line responses, and they do all the talking. It's very easy.
Man, oh my God, this is so like, what do you think? Okay, I'm sure there's parents listening too. What do you think parents can do that are listening to this that are going, holy shit? Like, just because you're usually not like, we know these people exist, but it's very different to like see the messages and see what these people actually are writing to kids.
Yeah.
And to parents who are listening who are like, holy shit, like what can I do I imagine just, you know, try not to give your kids a cell phone for as long as you can hold off on that for. But what are some other things like parents can do to keep their kids safe from these creeps?
Well, I like I said, I think being off the cell phone's good, but I definitely think, you know, getting kids interested in sports, getting kids interested in going outside again. Like I played outside all the time as a kid. We're basically the last generation to go outside.
Yep.
Like,
Yep. Me too.
Friends, yeah. Make friends with other kids. Because a lot of these molesters, they try to single out kids. And you know, if they see something like a friends group or something, I was watching this video that my girlfriend sent me of a molester explaining his psychology, and you know, a guy that we caught in South Dakota the other day, he was explaining that he targets girls out of broken homes. So
hey, that's what Epstein did. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like young girls that were like in the close by communities, like that were less well off, and they kind of like were broke, and they were like, okay, well, I'm going to help make money for my family or whatever, and
yeah,
they were vulnerable to that.
Definitely, I think the best way is just make a lot of friends. You know, I don't think restricting a kid's freedom, it'll always make them curious about what's on the other side. Like, you know, my dad always said, hold on loosely, like that song. Like, you don't want to squeeze too hard. Like, you don't want to say, you know, you're not my son, just get the hell out of here. But you also don't want to like micromanage, because if you hold on too tightly, they're going to squeeze out of your grasp and go do stupid things. Like, you know, my parents were very like laid back when it came to parenting. They're like, okay, just be home at this time, but do whatever the heck you want. They trusted me to not go out and do stupid stuff. And I think,
but there were no phones back then. Same thing. Like you just be out riding your bike until it kind of got dark, and then you'd go home.
Yeah. And you know, I think it also helped that I was also an ugly kid as much as I am an ugly adult. So like nobody would want to message me anyway. But I think like truly make friends, go play sports, just be outside to where, you know, because a predator can maybe see, okay, maybe this kid won't tell, but he has a bunch of friends that will, you know, somebody will. So just, you know, strengthen numbers, go make friends, go be a kick-ass kid. And, I don't know, just live a happy life. But as for getting online, you know, of course, parents, just educate your kids. Say, hey, no adult is trying to be your friend online. No adult asking you to send a photo gives a crap about you. Just stuff like that. But I definitely think, you know, positivity rather than, you know, enabling positivity rather than preventing negativity is a good way to go. Like,
right. And I think as a kid, like in some ways, it's similar to like if you're an adult where you are lacking like love, attention, validation, like if you're a kid and you're lacking those things, lacking friendship, lacking things to do, having purpose in your life, goals, you're going to be vulnerable to anybody who's going to come in and fill that attention void. And it's like when you're an adult, it's like, yeah, you can make your own mistakes, you know,
sure.
Date people who are not worth your time, but it's like it's really our job to protect these kids. And right, just try to like love your kids, keep them busy, look at their accounts, keep them off social media, I guess, for as long as you can. But yeah, of course, at the same time, like smartphones are so much a part of everybody's life. That sometimes that's not always possible, but I think it's like a really amazing what you're doing, and like not everyone can do the work that you're doing, and I'm sure the sick shit you've seen has caused you to lose sleep
And
probably
hair.
many nights and hair. It's
Yeah.
all good. It's just crazy. Have you ever been in contact with any of these predators and they figure out through chat that like you're not who you say you are, or they're just like they almost like it's like is it like they want it to happen so bad they won't even try to
Um,
suss out if it's real or not?
yeah, we run into a lot that say, "Oh, I knew this was a setup the whole time," but basically, especially learning from detectives, detectives always watch our videos like that we turn in, of course. They're like, "Oh, you could have said this or could have done this here." They give me tips. I can basically, call bullshit on that and get them to admit that it's bullshit. They knew their real kid was coming and all of that stuff. But as for these people, I mean, yes, people do block us. Like, and we still, if they have sexual messages and they blocked us and we know who they are, we still go to their house and confront them about it. And, for example, I think a video that we're going to be dropping tomorrow on the JDQ channel, I think that guy right there, he wrote us a lot of messages, was very sexual, but ended up blocking the decoy because, a lot of times they block because they can't get nudes from us, or they, just something, so.
Ugh, man, these people are so sick. But holy shit, Alex, thank you for the work that you do. And where else can people follow you? More?
Follow us, Puggy Pug, on YouTube and on Instagram, Fiddy Sick, FIDDYSIC, Fiddy Sick, no spaces, no nothing. Rumble is Predator Poachers, capital P's, no spaces. And our Twitter is football_56OL. I made a lot of these accounts when I was in high school. What can I say? So
You could tell, yeah.
yeah.
And like talk a little bit about the censorship you've been dealing with. You've had a couple of accounts like deleted from YouTube, or it seems like nobody on the internet really wants to hear about this in terms of social media platforms. What kind of censorship have you been dealing with?
I just we just always work hard, and with whoever the people are that post our videos, we appreciate it because we like these predators being exposed. And no matter what roadblocks we face, and we face a lot of roadblocks, we're just going to keep working hard. And I'm not going to let any of that stuff get in the way of our mission. And we have a very big support base that has prevented that from getting in the way of us. So yeah, that's all I'll say on that. Learn some tough lessons and adjusted. So
true, and it's all just about waking people up, and it's kind of a messy process sometimes. I don't know if you know this person, Bag Burner. Please refer to him as man child. Maybe that's like an inside joke.
that's my girlfriend.
Oh, really? Okay, Bag Burner. Chrissy, say no HSBS in chat, please. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, just say no high school BS.
Oh, okay. Okay, super. And from Grandmaster level, Alex is a real superhero. I have 3 daughters, and I appreciate what he does so much. Alex for president.
I'm the only superhero who can't get off the ground.
You're like, I can't wear a cape because then I would be too noticeable.
Fat man.
Maybe you can design like a predator takedown workout. Like how they have prison workouts, but it's just you like running in the streets.
Yeah.
After creeps.
Gosh, I'd have to get back in the gym to start doing that.
With like a weighted microphone. I don't know.
Yeah, a weighted microphone. Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. Again, this is I'm a fan and I appreciate what you do. And everybody go follow Alex Rosen. Thank you so much to the chat for your comments and questions. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right.